What's up and good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. This is part 3, I think, of Nick's 5'9", I don't know, what do we call it? Turd Cummins. I don't know. I'm not good at coming up with nicknames for vehicles. But this is a project where our buddy Nick bought this truck from an impound yard with back DMV fees. And yeah, there was some random Facebook Marketplace buy, and now he's throwing way too much money at it. We're just here to facilitate that. Derek has been doing some work on this while I was away. We're gonna cut to a clip of that now.
All right, and we're back. New day. Took a couple days off, actually. Spent some nice quality R&R time, but we're back and we gotta get going with this thing again. So we are with the Banks iDash system with the super gauge.
Now this is a product I'm familiar with from running on a few of my vehicles. The Banks iDash super gauge. I'm gonna let you handle the technical details.
Yeah, man, this is an awesome system. You can run it with OBD2, you can run it as a standalone. We're actually gonna be running it as a standalone system on this truck. One of the most important things, especially with the second gens and the setup we have here, is making sure you have a working
Lift pump.
Lift pump.
Lift pump.
Yeah, one of the most important things is making sure you have a working lift pump. One of the ways to make sure you do is by checking your fuel pressure, which is what we could do with one of these right here. Also, another important parameter, boost, and your pesky EGTs. Not a lot of people actually track these, and these can tell you a lot about the condition of your turbo, intake, just everything you need to know about your motor. You can honestly tell from your EGTs. And that's what this system is gonna show us. Right here we have Banks 4-channel analog wiring system. So what this does, this directly connects to this, which goes to the back of the gauge pod, which runs this nice harness out into our engine bay. So this will actually be in our engine bay, and then from here is a clean setup running into the actual vehicle. Nice thing about this is, say you run your 4 sensors and you go, hey, I want to add a couple more. Guess what? Go ahead and get you another 4-channel analog, daisy chain it right there. You can run it up to your gauge pod. Hell, somehow if you manage to actually take up like all 36 channels that this can track, you can actually daisy chain up to another 2 of these to
64.
track. Yeah, it's crazy. You can track as many things as you want on the truck. This system honestly can handle and do whatever you need, whether it's you want to run it through OBD2 to track whatever your computer's tracking.
The Bronco, my OBS,
yeah.
they're all running these.
Just straight through OBD2, or if you want to run it as a standalone system, they have options for that as well. Every time I call Banks, talk to somebody over at Banks, you know you're dealing with some good people and someone who knows what they're talking about. So
let's go get it installed.
Let's do this. Then I had already had to do some troubleshooting. Turns out, shocker, the OBD2 port was kind of like zip tied in there and wasn't really making good connection, and also it wasn't pressed in all the way forward in the bracket so that the OBD2 extension wasn't able to grab onto it and get power off of it. So it wasn't really turning on. Thought it was a fuse, turned out the fuse was fine. Once I went ahead and cut that zip tie and played around with it, kind of pushed the wires back in from the backside, iDash powered right on. So no fault to the iDash system, but now that we know we got power inside the cab, we need to start running our wires. So this is going to be our little extension we need for our bus cam, I believe it's called. So this part right here is gonna get ran into the cab and up to our dash, and then this connector is gonna go ahead and stay into our engine bay. This is where we're gonna go ahead and hook up that 4-channel analog connector, and then from there we're gonna go run our gauge or our sensors. So let's go ahead and get this popped in. I believe we are gonna use the same grommet that we used for our boost auto mirrors. And let's get this thing going. All right, hopefully you guys can see it right there, but that is where we are going to go ahead and pass our connector through. We're just gonna go and punch a little bit bigger of a hole right there, and that is on the other end is a nice sized grommet with an opening that the harness is gonna look real clean going through. So let's go ahead and get that punched through. Oh, perfect. Go ahead and just leave the razor blade in there. And look at that. Look at that. There's our connector right there. There we go. There's our connector. Now let's go ahead and pull that through. Go and take a little bit more of that. pull this wire out of the way so I don't get caught up with nothing. We still got to run that down to our transmission for our reverse signal, but we'll get that taken care of once the truck's back up on the lift. Alrighty then, let's run some wires and figure out where we want to terminate them. I think wire management's going to be a big part of this, but let's figure out where we're going to terminate our ends first. So these things, luckily enough, are kind of already labeled. It really doesn't matter except for when you actually want to organize your gauge pods. So it's convenient to know which one's which so you know how to organize your layout for your screen. So for one, we already know one's going to go to our boost pressure, which is already in the back of our Monster Ram intake. This 1/8 inch MPT is already here. Bunch of options for wherever what you want to put it. There's a spot for it. So we know one's going to go right there, and that's going to be our channel A. So as of right now, we are currently only going to be hooking up 2 channels, and the reason for that is right now we only have our boost pressure sensor that we can hook up, and then next we're going to find a spot for our EGT probe. We do have one more sensor, and that's going to be for our fuel pressure, but we have something coming up later for that, so there's no point in me plumbing that right now. And then lastly, we have a 4th channel spot, but we do not currently have anything. Now I'm talking to Nick about it, and we've been talking about coolant temp, we've been talking about transmission fluid temp. We haven't really locked down what we want yet. I'm recommending oil pressure just because on the gauges, you know, you're just following a needle. You don't really know what that needle is actually showing you. Therefore, if you have a physical number you can watch, to me, that's more important. So we're looking into that right now. But once we make that decision, it's as easy as going on to Bank's website, ordering the sensor you want, hooking it up, or installing it, plugging it in, good to go right there. So let's go ahead and figure out where our EGT probe is gonna go, and let's get that going. But it looks like we have 2 1/8 inch MPT threaded ports right here on the manifold itself. Now, I don't know if that's exactly what this is for, but we're gonna go ahead and pop these off and give that a check. So, go ahead and spray both of them down in case we can't get one. Nope, it's not coming either. Oh, might have to try some heat. Alrighty then, well those are pretty on there. I tried to find a little hand, map gas, not something, oxyacetylene, whatever. This is what we got here, so we're gonna go ahead and just crack that. Get that going, turn that way down. Way down. Nope, and I blew it out. Oh. Well, that didn't work. Yeah, that bit's still broken off in there. That one, we were able to go all the way up to like a, what is that? A T45. These fittings are super soft. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to drill it out as big as I can without hitting threads, outwards wise, and then I'm gonna take a punch and try to punch in the sides and can't see if we can't pull that away, get it to collapse in on itself, and then pull it straight out. Keep in mind, we're not gonna drill all the way through into this. So right now we're not really worried about shavings or, you know, introducing anything inside the manifold of the turbo. We're just trying to drill enough to where we could probably potentially punch that out inward. That fitting just falling out there. Alright then, well, we're on our way. Alright, after going out and getting a tap and die set, we ended up having to, we got majority of it out. We didn't really hit the threads at all. We kind of got honestly very lucky. I ended up running the motor while I ran the tap through it to kind of clean out and fix the threads that were in there, just so that the exhaust gas would sit there and push any metal chips out. You can see they're all laying around the outside, but nothing got on the inside. And then yeah, she's in there. She's definitely nice and tight. And then all we gotta do is make sure our little ferrule is in there. And then there's our EGT probe, and then we can go ahead and get that cleaned up, attached right there, make sure it's away from all exhaust, everything like that. We're gonna go ahead and get that hooked up, and then we'll go ahead and get that zip tied so that you'll never see it. Ugh.
Alrighty, now, today is going to be a big day because, well, we are announcing what Nick's other plans are for this truck. Derek, what are we gonna be doing suspension and stuff wise?
So we got a Zone 5-inch kit. For those of you that know, Zone is a BDS sister company. So it's some good stuff. Watched a couple videos on it. There's definitely some like problem areas, especially those lower cam bolts. So we're actually gonna tear into the truck today to kind of pre-stage for the lift that comes in 2 days from now. Just want to buy myself as much time in case, you know, hey, Nick, I know there's something on this lift that, you know, or something with the truck that doesn't look good. We're going to need it for the lift. Gives them time to get some stuff here. The whole idea of this is trying to be, you know, quick on time.
Nick's wheels and tires have shown up at the warehouse. Well, not our warehouse, the tire warehouse. We're going to go pick those up for him today. And again, we're just trying to get everything pre-staged, and then Dedek is going to start the tear down on this thing once we get back. Dedek, let's go to the tire warehouse.
Hot dogs first.
Hot dogs first.
Hot dogs first.
Hot dogs first. All right. Ooh. Warm air in this bad boy. Let's see.
What are we saying?
I'm just checking out the truck, but I've never ridden in this thing.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so we are at American Tire Distributors. I believe that's what HED stands for. Oh, squeeze it in, squeeze it, tight squeeze. You got plenty of room over here. Good. All right, let's go see. Do we park in the peasant parking, or do we back up next to the sweet van at the loading dock?
I think we're just gonna park it.
Okay, peasant parking it is.
Should have smacked her into the wall, maybe straighten out my hitch a little bit.
I'd have to go pretty fast.
This is as big as
They got tires for these things?
right, I guess so.
Jesus Christ. Oh, you gotta sign the paper first. Oh. That guy has crashed into more shit in the 30 seconds we've been here with this forklift. So I don't know if you guys can see, they have a little red.
For tire choice. Hey, you can leave it first side the paper. Oh, only put put inside and leave it.
Oh shit, son of a gun.
Yeah, I go the boss. Hey, it's the second time he's like, oh, Miguel again.
Cut him off. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Pitcher up here. Don't serve.
Easy day. 37s look small these days.
Right?
I was gonna say, let's see what he smacks on his way out. He just knocked over a whole stack of tires. I think he's drunk. I legitimately think that guy's drunk. He has smacked into so much crap in the couple of minutes we've been here.
Perfect.
Jeez. Okay, now that we got the tires, we're back at Harbor Freight. We're gonna go pick up, what are we picking up?
The safety lift jacks for the vehicle lift.
Okay. Yep. We're getting these things?
Yeah.
Where the heck are we gonna store these? They fold up? No.
Those are gonna go up against the wall next to the oil, my guy.
Since when do we care about safety?
Since I've had a vehicle fall off the lift. I don't want that to happen again.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, we have made it back. It's crazy, 37s used to be a huge tire.
Yeah, these
That's what's on the Bronco.
soft boys too.
They're not that big. So I'm thinking, you know, fresh 37s on that old beater truck, it's not the look. We should put these on the Bronco. This is the same size wheel, we got 17s. 17s, the exact same tire that's on the Bronco. We should give him those that are already worn in. What do you think, Dedek? We should do a little swap skis.
Yeah, let's do a little swap skis.
Okay. A little before and after.
There you go.
That's not that much tread missing.
Dedek, do you mind if I take this product insight today?
Go for it, dog. I know you like these tires.
My absolute favorite tire in the world, the Toyo MT. These things are tried and true, solid tires. They are load range D for Dedek. I've run these since my very first truck. I've had them on every single one of my vehicles, all of my OBSs, my Denali, my big Silverado, even the Bronco. I freaking love these tires. You get a really good life out of them, and they're great in every single condition, from sand to snow to just daily driving. I mean, yeah, you can get like 80,000 miles out of a crappier, harder tire that's not a mud terrain, but for these being mud terrains, you get a lot of life out of them.
You know what's crazy about it?
What?
These 37s weren't much more expensive than the off-brand 35s, so
It's worth it.
yeah, that whole argument of, well, you know, I go through tires quick and I'd rather buy the cheaper ones, that argument's out the window because these weren't that much more per tire, so you might as well just go with a nice tire. You Doug?
I was trying to flip it over. I didn't know you were
the
like...
off-road capabilities. Oh yeah, I'm in it. Now I'm stuck in it.
See our difference. What's on here right now? What do we got? Oh, there are 37s on there right now. Heavily.
Are those 37s?
That's what it says.
Really?
Yeah, they're pretty close.
Yeah. Oh, dude, with the 5-inch lift, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
You see where it was cutting the other tire?
You can see it on this one too.
I mean,
look at that. Oh, that's all the way down to the steel right there on these front.
Oh
yeah.
Around the entire tire.
So obviously, Nick knew putting 37s back on this thing, there's gonna be issues. There's currently clearance issues and these tires are practically bald and there's still clearance issues, let alone the fresh lugs of a Toyo MT. Okay, we are getting Dedic's, what do they call this thing? Safety jack, stand, something or another. She is all assembled, greased up, lubed up. Oh, yep, let's test her out. Where's the first? There it is. We are so safe now.
I already feel better, and there's not even anything on it. This will be nice for when we do like axles and stuff for suspension work. When we're doing lifts, you can just kind of put the axle and let it rest on this, and then be able to do your work, feel a little more supported. The parts for Nick's truck sure are piling up.
We've got a bunch more parts from our friends over at Banks. We've got Bank stuff. I think that's a Banks box up front. We've got some other stuffs in here. So I just got back from picking up all of those parts. Dedic's is over here. It looks like we almost have the FASS finished here, buddy.
Yeah, dude.
Dedic, what was the main issue that you found with this truck?
Well, it was kind of apparent when the truck wouldn't start no more. We had an injection pump failure. We got that pump swapped out, but what's the point of just swapping out that pump when, you know, dirty fuel and, you know, air in your fuel and problems with a lift pump? It's just going to cause the same problem, right? Why make that investment to get the truck up and running, but not make the smart investment to make sure the same problem doesn't happen again? That's why we have this FASS Titanium Series lift pump right here, all right? Not only is this thing gonna filter all our fuel out, it's gonna clean everything that's coming into the truck, but it's also gonna create that positive pressure that we need at all times. These older lift pumps on these trucks, you'll notice when you put them into gear, it'll drop down to like 7 PSI for a little bit and then crawl back up to that 14 PSI you need to properly operate that injection pump. That kind of PSI drop is going to kill your injection pump over time. It will.
Now you guys are probably thinking, you've seen FASS on a lot of things and you're thinking that's for performance race engines and all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, if you know me, I don't go crazy with my vehicles. And obviously we're not going to put a ton of power through this truck. It's an old, tired truck. These aren't just for race applications. These are filtration systems first and foremost. And it's an added filtration on top of what the truck already has. You cannot go wrong by adding more filtration. You guys know, fuel's getting dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. Everybody's getting cheaper and cheaper. God knows what's coming out of the ground at those gas stations. So, a little extra security, it's not that much money. Replacing that is a lot more money. Well, you see what Dedic's going through on the injection system. So you can get 3 times the life of your injection system by just running one of these systems right here.
And honestly, I'd much rather service that than what that thing came with from the factory. That thing's a pain in the butt to get to. It's right there in the back side of the bed. It's super easy to do, it just makes everything so much easier.
There you go.
Save your mechanics too. And as everyone knows, with FASS, if you can build it, they can fuel it. Get you yourself a FASS lift pump now.
Let's get it installed.
Jesus, my guy.
What?
That's some good fuel line. I really like this stuff, actually. I run this stuff everywhere I can.
Now, while Dedic is working on getting the FASS pump installed, let's show you guys Nick's lift kit that is showing up here. It is a Zone 5-inch, and let's go for the exact specs. We got the 5-inch coil kit, stabilizer, but they call it stabilizer, brake prop valve relocator, 5-inch block kit, and front sway bar links, and some 5-inch block / add a leaf in the rear. Well, that was an easy unveiling there. Yeah. 5-inch coil kits. What is this thing? This one's a little bit bent there. That is the rear block / add a leaf. I'm guessing by the size of that, that is there's a leaf spring in there. Let's see what's in box number 1. Yep, got enough of those. Good. That's important. Got a toilet paper roll, also important. Okay, yep, that is definitely a 5-inch kit right there. Dedic, checks out, man. That's everything we need right there.
Everything we got?
Yeah, well, it better be everything we need.
Hey man, that's a nice knife you got there.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Did that come from you?
Yeah, I got those on
We've been wondering where that came from.
my first deployment. I had 3 sets of them where he got bored in the middle of the ocean, so he ordered throwing knives on Amazon. They actually got there. Yeah.
That's how we lose it.
Better look next time.
All right, so look at that. We got some Fox shocks.
Ooh, wait, oh. There should only be 2.
There's 2.
Okay.
The other ones are some brake relocate,
Stabilizer. Okay, cool.
stabilizer.
Yeah, he had to, the fronts were out of stock, so Zone went ahead and shipped them from a different distributor.
Yeah, I'd say these are, Jesus.
Yeah, I those are common big.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. I think those will do the job. We're getting the bank stuff all dirty, man. Jeez.
You know, take that. No, come on. If you grabbed stuff like a man, it wouldn't happen. Do I gotta yell at you like I'm your dad? Hold the flashlight better. What you doing?
I did that before I grabbed it.
Yeah, and then you went like a little.
Do we tell them about the wrong fuel line that you just cut?
Go for it. Tell them I messed up. All right, I cut the return, so now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna fix the return line. All right, I'm upset right now.
Taking it out on me. I don't.
In the toolbox.
I got called down here, you know.
Oh, that makes me so
Just working in my
sad.
air-conditioned office upstairs.
It's so annoying, dude.
Ain't nothing a little flex tape can't handle. You know, guys, I try to tell him, measure twice, cut once. Said it about 17 times today. He just don't listen. And, well, you know, you end up with this mess right here.
I'm over it. So tired. So, something I like that FASS does is they include what most people with these trucks know as the big line kit. And what that's replacing is this right here, this very restrictive banjo bolt. So if we take this bad boy apart, you can see that it's got the 3 holes in it. And then, you know, fills up the banjo and then it flows at 1, it's restrictive. You're making 90s with fluid and yada, fluid dynamics. That's a bunch of stuff that's too smart for me. What FASS does is they replace all of that with that straight through fitting with this nice sweeping 90. 1/2-inch hose goes right up there, straight into your injection pump. All right, what that does is that's gonna help with that initial like getting off the line with your lift pump pressure. A lot of the times is that injection pump will start grabbing a bunch of fuel and then the lift pump can't supply it fast enough, or there's that, it has to make that turn and it goes real slow and whatever. This speeds up that process and gets that fuel right to that injection pump. It's gonna help the life of your injection pump out. Assure you that. And you don't have to go buy it because FASS already includes it with their kit.
Okay, well, me and Chris are running to Home Depot to fix Dedek's screw up, cutting the wrong line there. We're gonna have to get him some barbed fittings. So we're always fixing Dedek's screw ups.
Always.
He did offer to buy us dinner though, but he didn't give us his credit card.
Yeah, bastard.
So Chris ended up buying us dinner. You're a great date, man.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. All right, we've got our piece. Chris, did he give us money for this?
No, yeah.
Oh. Now, because we're such good friends, not only did we bring him his fitting, but oh, geez, we brought some dessert right there, you know? What? Oh, you're gonna sneak up on him? Shh.
Oh my God, you scared the hell out of me. All right, everybody, what up? Boy Dedek, we're here again at the shop, day something. I don't even know anymore. Stop counting, stop keeping track. We got a lift kit coming in today. So this thing needs to go up on the lift. I need to start tearing into this thing, figure out, you know, what's going on with it, make sure we got nothing else we need to order. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and get this truck up on the lift so we can start tearing into it. Probably should have taken the wheels and tires off before we got it up there, but whatever. All right, well, let's get it. Well, we were able to get the driver's side camber bolt out. That one honestly wasn't too bad. A couple swings of the hammer, popped right out. But unfortunately, it is the passenger side. I have been swinging on that thing and it ain't budging. So time to grab the reciprocating saw and start getting through. one of them Diablo blades, not gonna lie. That was, it was only about halfway through, and I swapped up blades, and that went right through, so. Okay. All right, well, now that we got the lowers off, let's go ahead and get coils, shocks. I don't want to do the uppers yet, just because that's kind of what's helping position my axle right now. So if I take those off, it'll want to like spin this way towards us because of all this extra weight on the pinion. So we're gonna leave the uppers on because between the drive shaft and that, it's kind of like a makeshift 3-link. So we're gonna leave it that way for now until we can at least get some new lowers in, but we can continue to progress with the front. So we gotta get these shocks out and we gotta get our coils out. And then we also gotta drop our track bar and then we can move on to the rear. Honestly, there's not much to this, so.
Okay, while we were gone, Dedek has been rocking away on getting this lift kit installed.
I got a lot done. We're not done with this side yet, but I do have our comically large springs in. Still got to slip our Fox shocks in, and then I can put that little top mount on. So we got some new cam bolts down here. Kind of got to dip down low to see them. So we got the new cam bolts because I did have to cut the old ones out. Those came with new hardware all around. Tubular upper, tubular lower. Honestly, I usually, for some reason, have to fight with these things every time I do these, but these actually went in really well. Everything kind of pressed in by hand. Just gave her a little love tap or two to get them to seat.
Now, what happened when you were pulling the steering apart?
Dude, I'm so happy Nick bought this lift kit. I brought out the big breaker bar, like the big 4-footer, and went to go get ready to put a big old push in it, and it just, whoop, it was hand tight, which is terrifying. So those things are supposed to be torqued down to like 200 foot-pounds. Yeah, and then I pulled my Pitman arm puller on there, and same thing. It was like a 3/8 ratchet, not even like a big brake bar, and it just slid right off, and I was like, that is terrifying. So yeah, good thing we're going through this and really fixing those things. So I mean, honestly, that pays for the lift right there. Just that, you know, comfort and peace.
The fact that nobody has died.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, we don't want anybody dying. That's no point. Let's go talk to the supervisor here. Well, he got fed.
We're doing great.
What?
We're doing great.
Okay, good. We left you your chair there, so you know your little extension.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nap time after dinner. All right, enjoy your nap. Grease it up.
Grease it up.
Look at that.
That's what happens when you put grease on it.
Oh, that's looking good. That's looking good.
That's the one, dude. So one of the key things about the Zone Lift is you do reuse a lot of the hardware. Now, I mean, this hardware is definitely stout. It's good enough. But, you know, that's how they keep the cost down on the product, you know. Obviously, if the hardware wasn't good enough, it wouldn't have rolled off the line. So reuse some of it, you save some costs in the end, and, you know, everyone's kind of happy.
So if I were you guys buying one, I would buy new hardware.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's why we bought it where we really matters. So that's the stuff you're really gonna see. You're not really gonna see the shock bolt ever, but yeah, the important stuff, the key stuff, we bought new hardware.
I also like my shock bolts not to break. I could care less what they look like. I don't want them to break.
Well, you've had that happen before?
Yeah, a few times. In my experience of lifted trucks, it happens.
Got her. Sometimes you gotta give that hook too, you know. How much longer do you think until that's dead? Another
Probably by the time this video goes live, it's probably dead.
Absolutely. They're gonna be like, oh, that guy's annoying. Don't worry, I say the same thing when I rewatch this stuff.
Let me show these guys the brakes, Dedek. This thing, look at that lip right there. Look how worn these brakes are. I mean, I think it's safe to say there's nothing left here on the passenger side.
Yeah, what happened was Buddy let it go down to the pad, like the metal pad, and just kept running it, and was like, you know, my brakes haven't been stopping as good lately for the past, you know, 10,000 miles. Let me do some pads, and then realized this and went, yep, pads it is, and then just kept running it. So we got rotors and pads on the way.
Jeez.
Fast pump is plumbed up, at least in the back half here. So what I like to do is I like to actually mount the pump to the bracket that it's actually supposed to be mounted to first. The reason why I like to do that is I don't like to throw the pump in a vise. I just, you know, with the finish and everything, I don't want to mar that up, and I love the way they look. So I actually put the bracket itself in the vise, and that way I can torque down all my fittings and make sure everything's nice and tight and good. And then I take my angle bracket that's all the way up here, and then I actually mount that to the cab bolt or the bed mounting bolt. And then that's when I actually mount everything together like that and then run all my plumbing. So we've got our feed side right here running to the intake or the inlet on the suction side of the tank. We have our return line right here that's plumbed back into our filler neck over here. And then we have our actual feed line right here that's gonna run all the way up forward into the injection pump. So it's gonna feed this thing directly. We're gonna have pressure all the time, good pressure, a lot more fuel flow, just everything's better. You can see I actually passed everything in here, running it along the original fuel lines all the way up and forward. I still have to plumb my harness up, but that is where we are with the fuel line. Goes up and then in the back of the injection pump. So everything's tidy, nice and neat, and looks good. Can't see.
All right, so we got the relocation bracket in place. Now we need to drill a hole so we can bolt it to this cross member. At least there's so much oil and fuel there.
Yeah, I don't even have to spray.
Yeah.
I literally was thinking about it.
Keeps it cool.
I don't even have to spray it. It's
Nope.
already like self-lubricating.
Yeah.
What is that?
Where are your safety glasses?
They're on my hat right there. You bring them over here.
Dedick was on me for the longest time about those glasses. He wanted them so bad. Took them from me, then left them.
Nah, you gave them to
Then
me.
left them after SEMA in Papa Rhino's truck, and then finally got them back now that he moved back, and then he doesn't even wear them.
Oh, there we go.
Hey! Sure. Alrighty guys, well I have to get out of here. I'm assuming Daddy, you coming with me, buddy?
No.
Yo, you staying?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish this stuff up. I'm at least gonna get the front end done. I wanna see if when we put that thing down, if it straightens out.
Are we not impressed with the zone kit?
Well, let's see. Let's wait and see when it's down on the ground. And then I'll make my determination on it.
I'll make a little determination. So far, these bolts are not the proper length. So we're gonna have to replace some bolts that came in the kit. Yeah. As you can see here, this bolt right here on this link is nice and long. Look at all those extra threads you have right there.
Those look like original bolts.
Right.
But there are none because they're both studs. So that makes no sense. And then it's not even like I got the hardware mixed up with another kit because he ordered these for this kit like as its own standalone kit. So this is all hardware I pulled out of the same bag, same package. And it's like, I can't even get all the threads in it. So this lock washer is basically useless. So I have to get a longer bolt because the other problem is the head isn't even big enough to like catch the end of it. So yeah. We're
It's always the late at night projects that start to go this way. Dedick just drank a water bottle that I had some cleaning stuff.
Yeah, because we just like to, you know, mix stuff in a water bottle and leave it on a toolbox that we're working off of. So
I did that like yesterday.
And
It wasn't even on the toolbox.
yes, it was literally sitting right there. That's where I grabbed it from.
Well, you must have put it there because I did it off of that thing yesterday.
Well, we had to move that at some point, so it got put. Why you just throw it away when you're done?
Why are we drinking random water bottles?
Because I put stuff down and walk away.
It didn't even have a lid on it.
I put stuff down and walk away.
Your insides are gonna be clean though.
I hate you.
Dedick, are you gonna film the rest of this?
Sure.
Well, if you get footage, you
I
get footage.
really don't have much left. I'm probably gonna be out of here in the next 30 minutes.
Okay.
I'm honestly just gonna take time to clean up.
So I'm gonna probably end this video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button now that we do not miss out on. Hopefully this thing comes together. We shall see. Don't forget to give this video a like, a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out workforitapparel.com because if there's anything you want in this life, you gotta be willing to work for it. You guys are the best. We're out.
Donate to my GoFundMe for a toolbox. I'm tired of working out of the service cart.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.